All right, cool. All right, so we've talked about a lot of important things here today. Some stuff, whether it be environment, whether it be about gender, feminism, things that are so important. But I have a question for you. One that is so cataclysmic that it sends great thinkers running. A question some are scared to answer. Today I ask you the question, is a hot dog a sandwich? Is it? I mean, to this day, I believe that no one has adequately answered this question. Whether it be philosophers, scientists, great thinkers, it doesn't matter, because I believe they have not adequately answered it. And obviously, I mean, I'm a college sophomore with an affinity for Pamplemousse LaCroix and a crippling addiction to Twitter, so obviously I am qualified to talk about this. I mean, they gave me a TED Talk, for crying out loud. So this is an interesting question, and I invite you to embark on this quest with me. And I will warn you, though, there are some dangerous things we can learn along the way. So, first things first, just a quick poll of the room. Who thinks a hot dog is a sandwich? Just raise your hand. Yeah, it's fine. We have some non-believers. That's okay. I mean, it's not a simple question. I mean, imagine in your head a turkey sandwich, you know, bread, turkey, cheese, maybe some mayonnaise if you're into that sort of thing. Is that the same thing as a hot dog? Is a hot dog, could I call it a pork sandwich? Will I be kicked out of the family barbecue for pondering these questions out loud? I tell you today, the answer to all of these is yes. But that's besides the point. Now, obviously, because this is a TED Talk and it's all about me, I'm going to talk about me for a second. When I was in high school, I did debate. I did debate for 4 years. It was one of the greatest things that I ever took part in, and I loved every second of it. And through debate, I learned a lot of things about, well, thought experiments, if you will. Things that can allow us to question things around us. And through debate and through some weird dinner conversations, I came to this question and decided, oh, you know what? I'll answer it, why not? So, the first thing I want to talk about is a concept I learned through debate called bright line. Bright line is a subject usually used in debate as a rationale for rejecting an off-topic argument. The usual way it goes is, you know, if we allow this thing to slide, where is the line between what is on topic and what is off topic? And this obviously applies to more than just debate. Anything can have a bright line between what is this and what is that. And from bright line, we can learn a little bit more into this thing called Sorites Paradox. Now, Sorites Paradox is a really fun thought experiment, so we're going to have to put on our imagination caps. I know it's been a while. So imagine a heap of sand. So let's say 1,000,000 grains of sand, right? Probably be pretty big. I'm not one for knowing sizes, but I imagine it to be fairly large. Now, if I were to pluck a grain of sand off of that pile, throw it to the breeze, would this still be a heap of sand? Well, yeah, obviously. Come on, Ben, let's ask some deeper questions here. Now, if I were to plop more and more and more grains of sand, let's say I plop so many grains of sand off, there's 1 grain of sand left there on the floor, is that still a heap of sand? No, obviously not. I mean, a heap refers to the collective. But at what point of me taking off grains of sand and putting them aside did it stop becoming a heap? Where's the bright line between heap and non-heap? Was it 2 grains of sand? Was it 3 grains of sand? No. I mean, maybe. I don't know. That's up to you. The point is that there's no bright line, and this can be best observed in this sort of gradient I have going on. On one side, we have green. On the other side, we have red. 2 totally different colors, differentiable. But when we zoom in this gradient and we move along, each independent slice is indifferentiable. They're the same. Now, there are some complications with defining green as red, because obviously colors actually do have a bright line, but this is a good visual representation of Sorites Paradox. Now, what does this have to do with hot dogs, Ben? We came here to talk about hot dogs. That's why I came to a TED Talk. Now, I know. All right, bear with me. So, this is the first Google image result of a hot dog, given that you have the right licenses, right? I'm not trying to get sued by someone who holds the copyright to a hot dog image. And it tells us pretty much everything we need to know. It is a tubular piece of mystery meat encased in a breaded bun with some condiments on top. Is this a sandwich? Some of you already think no. But let's just start basic. Let's go to Merriam-Webster. That's right, folks, we're pulling out the dictionary. This is the definition of a sandwich according to Merriam-Webster. So, 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll with a filling in between. Bam, TED Talk over. Suck it, guys. No. All right, there's a little bit more than that, all right? Now, obviously, there are some people who think this isn't enough, and there is variety in how definitions of sandwich is, such as the cowards at the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, who refuse to acknowledge the potential of the hot dog as a sandwich. But that's besides the point here. You see, with definitions, there's more than just one bit. There's a second bit to this definition. Bam, part B. All right, 1 slice of bread covered with food. And I would be so brave as to define a hot dog bun as 1 slice of bread. Come at me. Now, that's besides the point, because what I'm really here to talk about is not hot dogs. I'm here to talk about sandwiches. This is called the Sandwich Paradox, after all. Because there's one more part to this definition, which you can find, that is kind of devious. There's some things that it kind of opens the floodgates, and I hope you have your seatbelts on, because a sandwich can be defined as something resembling a sandwich. So this begs the question, what doesn't resemble a sandwich? Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Ben, I can think of 50, I can think of 100 things that don't resemble a sandwich. Oh yeah? Well, that's just because you have a concrete bias of what is and isn't a sandwich. I'm going to show you an image, and I want you to brace yourself. Would you call this a sandwich? Well, you're wrong. You see, the key is we don't jump straight from sandwich to bicycle. It's obviously a bicycle, but because we already have these preconceptions about what is and isn't sandwich, we fail to recognize the full potential. Now, there are more steps to it, and I hope you bear with me because we're going to go on a little bit of a rocky ride here. Now, if we start at the basic definition of a sandwich, we can jump from what we'd imagine a PB&J. We can jump to the definition of a sandwich, as I've already brought up. We can jump to hot dogs because I already proved it's a sandwich. All you haters who don't think so aren't listening. Now, from hot dog, we can jump to, and this is going to be a big leap, I need you to bear with me. We're going to jump to burritos and wraps, all right? Because when you really break down, a tortilla is just a piece of bread, and I know I offended a lot of people by saying that. There's a lot of steps here. I got to zoom out and be abstract. I don't have a lot of time. Now, since it can be anything resembling a sandwich, guess what resembles a burrito? That's right, a metal pipe. All right. Now, if we repeat this step over and over again, guess what you get? That's right, it is a genuine USA bicycle. So, wow, we just did that. And guess what? You can do this again and again for every single object that exists. That's right, I am going to be so brave as to say that everything in this room, everything in this world, everything outside of this world is a genuine sandwich. That's right, pianos, loud sandwiches, houses, sandwiches you live in. Humans, fleshy sandwiches. Now, you'll notice throughout this entire speech I've been using a lot of ambiguity, and that's sort of the point of why I'm giving it. It's because the English language is anything but precise. You see, there isn't a bright line between what is and isn't a sandwich. There isn't a bright line between what can be described as a pipe and what isn't a pipe. Abusing this is easy, and that's what I've just done. In fact, this entire conversation we've had has been an example of the Sorites Paradox. I started from an innocent question, such as, is a hot dog a sandwich? And gotten all the way to the point that everything is a sandwich, right? Bear with me here. This happens every single day in our world, and it is most normally known as a logical fallacy called slippery slope. Basically, if A leads to B, B leads to C, that means A must lead to C. By giving this speech, I'm trying to bring awareness to this sort of thing. And this is something that we need to be careful of, because the English language, like I said, is anything but precise. We can say anything we want, and the fact is that we are our language. Our language is us, and language is how it influences how we interact with people. So, when I received an invitation to this talk, I was told that our goal is to bring together bright minds to give talks that are idea-focused and on a wide range of subjects to foster learning, inspiration, and wonder, and provoke conversations that matter. So in conclusion, with the sandwich paradox, I hope to provoke conversations that matter when I say, everything is a sandwich. Thank you. I'm Ben Schnuck. Follow me on Twitter.